The vintage collection. It's one of those toy lines where I love them and I hate them. If you're like me, you love going to Target and Walmart every day. Yeah, every day. And you go down the toy aisle excited, then you go down and then you see this. Over and over again. You start losing hope. You start losing hope in 3.75 Star Wars Vintage Collection. In a way, it's a gift and a curse, Vintage Collection being so hard to find. I mean, if they were easy, I wouldn't really be as grateful if I found them. And since they're harder, it just makes finding them that much more exciting. And remember, if you want to get these Landos off the shelf, do your part by Lando. And for the ones that never seen a Lando outside of its card, they smell good, they're detailed figures, get a Lando. I've been collecting Star Wars The Vintage Collection for almost 2 years now. And some may think that my vintage collection is just super crazy, hundreds of figures, but I only have 56 figures. I only buy the figures that fit into Skybottom. If I wasn't building Skybottom and I only collected figures, I would have pretty much every single figure released. But since I'm building Skybottom, I have to manage what I buy. What I buy has to fit. Everything has a purpose. So the figures that I do have are hand selected and I just love them in Skybottom. So thank you guys for watching this video. Let's see my vintage collection. So this Darth Vader from Rogue One was one of my first vintage collection figures. I was starting off only collecting Imperial figures, and that's why the majority of my figures are Imperial. This Scout Trooper was my first custom figure. My first time painting a figure, my first time actually trying something different. I'm quite pleased the way he turned out. I made him an alcoholic. He always has a bottle in his hand, but the majority of Skybottom citizens are alcoholics, so he was the first one. When this Bib Fortuna was first announced, I was so excited to get him. Like, Skybottom needs Bib Fortuna. And then when I found the second one, I was like, okay, well, I can't just leave him at the store. Guess what? Bib Fortuna has a twin brother now. This is another figure that I'm happy with the way it came out. I used a little bit of blue and brown to just change his skin tone a little bit different so he's not identical to his brother. This is another Scout Trooper that I customized. Trying to get these guys to stand was a real challenge. Some of them don't stand, and that's the thing about not vintage collection, but all figures. Sometimes trying to get one to stand straight, and it's just retarded. My 3 Walmart exclusives, found these in store. Excited to have them. My Palpatine. When I seen Palpatine sitting on the peg in Walmart, I thought I struck gold. I was like, oh my God, a Palpatine? And the same thing with this Leia. I found her, I was like, Walmart exclusive, bought 2. Now she's just a civilian, nothing special. So down here in the lower level, C1, we have 2 Stormtroopers, which are the Luke Skywalker disguised Stormtroopers. We have Lobot trying to get inside, but he's being questioned for no reason. We have a battle droid just posted because he has nothing to do but to look busy. I'm so impressed with the head sculpt on this Lobot. This is a 3.75 figure, and this head sculpt is better than some 6-inch figures. Change my mind right now, change my mind. We have Jedi Knight Leia and Mr. Snaggletooth over here in Sean's Loading Blast, stocking up the shelves. Having a smaller collection does make my collection more intimate and more special. Each figure is a civilian of Skybottom. Over here we have a couple of more Scout Troopers and some ATST pilots just chilling, talking about Imperial things. Mr. Armless K2SO, he got his arms stolen by some Jawas. And we have some Hoth Rebels. We got Luke, a Hoth Rebel, and Bespin Leia. Cigarettes. No, the droid doesn't smoke cigarettes. It's these guys. They're the ones that smoke the cigarettes. This is such an underrated figure. If you guys see this in stores, please grab him. The figure is nice. The sculpt, the way it stands easily, and he's great for customs. My first and only vintage collection vehicle is the TIE Fighter, which I just love. I actually had to hot glue these wings because one of the wings wouldn't stay on, and I was just upset that I spent $60 on a TIE fighter and the wings can't even stay on. So I had to modify that a little bit. Moff Gideon and a custom TIE fighter pilot that I just painted not too long ago. Skybottom has their own squadron called Black Nova Squadron, and they are a group of rogue Imperial TIE fighter pilots, but they're not really Imperial. Over here we got Bo-Katan and Boba Fett up there discussing who knows what. You can never have enough droids. If you have 20 of these droids, it is fine. It all makes sense. Darth Maul just always looks mad, but we have to have people that just have permanent, just mad face here on Skybottom. Next we have Ahsoka, just a beautiful figure that I found in the wild. I was so excited to find her. I said, you know what, you're coming home? Not home, but you're coming to Skybottom, which is your new home. Just one of the reasons why I love 3.75 is because I have 56 figures and they're just standing here and they all fit here. They all fit. They're all home. I can't do this with 6-inch. Here is another custom TIE fighter pilot that I made talking to K2SO down here in the lower warehouses. And this is another figure that I'm just happy with the way it turned out. Eventually, every single character in Skybottom is going to be a custom. I got the head from a Jurassic Park figure, so that's probably why it looks familiar to you. Let me know down in the comments how many vintage collection figures you guys have. I'm pretty sure it was way more than me, but I'm kind of curious to see how many you guys got. You're probably surprised and you're probably like thinking, how come I don't have more? How can I only have so little? Well, it's because sometimes they're hard to find and I don't need every vintage collection figure.